Well, we talk about, or they talk about, the silver and gold pumpers. Well, what about the equities pumpers? Hey, you know what? What about the real estate pumpers? What about the tech bubble pumpers? What about the Bitcoin pumpers? Hey, you know what? There's always all kinds of shit out there. Anyway, just buyer beware. Caveat emptor, right? Anyway, hey, this is interesting because it's cracking me up, man. Because I'll give you some factoids about the stock market. You make up your mind. I don't want to say where I work or whatever, or what I work with, or exactly. But I heard these cliches so many times, man. They try to get these people to bite. Man, I tell you, brokers are like lawyers, like ambulance chasers, man. They're looking for for people with money, and how does a broker make money? You invest with them, right? So even when you got these people on the internet with their charts, and they're a broker, and they can give you more facts, and they sound cool. They're looking for your money. I'm not a broker. I mean, indirectly I work with that stuff. I took courses on these things. I took courses in the areas where the Series 6 is. Courses on real estate, stuff on insurance, but I don't do any of that. I only took that stuff for general knowledge for accounting and finance. I don't really care about getting in that garbage at all. But this is hilarious, man. And you'll notice that I put out videos like real redneck style type videos. I like working on cars and stuff, doing stuff. And it comes down to it. Hey, if the sky falls, really, where's your money going to be at? And I'm going to say this. Well, first off, I'm going to get to the punchline on this. This is the only thing correct these major media says. Cash, we all know, will never keep up with inflation. Cash never keeps up with inflation. Never. Hey, it's nice to have cash because you need to spend it all the time, but it never keeps up with inflation, right? Never. See, even when they analyze, what happened in the 50s to what happened now, they're talking about inflationary salaries, if you figured if you saved $100 back in the 50s and you have it now, it's a big difference, because the price of a car or house was much lower, and, that's the deal, right? To rehash everything. But I'm almost laughing at this damn thing because I heard this shit so many times, man. It's like when it get, it's like, oh yeah, if you hold on to the market, you're eventually going to get your money back and shit. Actually, right now, the best area to be in is silver and gold in the current climate. We haven't really seen the gains yet. And I'm going to laugh. Maybe it'll go down more, and I don't really 100% know the future, but the short-term future. But they expect it to go down to half, gold to go to half of where it is and all this kind of garbage. That's ludicrous. And, there's a limit to how far they can push it. But anyway, in 2013, the S&P 500 had the largest percentage gain in 16 years. The Dow had the largest percentage gain in 18 years. S&P was up 30%. Think it's going to keep doing that? And, after I showed some of the employment statistics yesterday and, retail sales of gasoline, I thought that was great because that's telling you how much people are just driving around and going out to places and things like that. That's telling you how many people are actually in the workforce. That's one, driving back and forth to work. That's telling you how much, people are going out on the weekends and spending money or whatever they're doing or shopping or whatever. It's ludicrous what, the government is trying to paint. And they know better. So they're trying to tell you success. QE was a success. But also, it turned out that a Gallup survey showed that only 52% of Americans are personally or jointly, with their spouse, involved in the stock market, which is the lowest level percentage-wise since 2008. So the stock market rally actually benefited, the top elite. Now, it didn't benefit me because I'm in freaking damn, what do you call those things? Minor stocks, some of them anyway. But, I don't give a shit. I just wait, I know. I'm actually playing as principal. I have to look at the downside risk and, my time frame and all this kind of garbage. But basically, here's the cliche words. Your goals, your financial goals, your time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Now, actually, precious metals and commodities have always been known. Commodities have always been known as being high risk, possibly high reward. That's just the classic cliche, man. But you got to be stupid, to figure that since the actual low in 2009 on the S&P, the S&P's gone up 3 times. Yeah, I mean, that'd be great if you bought it at the low, but everybody at that time at the low in the S&P was saying it was going to go down further, weren't they? See what I mean? You see, actually, you know what it is? It depends on who it is, but there are a few people, very few, and I don't want to say this as the majority. There's a very, very few people that think they can go on the internet and they want advice to give them instant money with absolutely no patience involved. None. They just want to go on and click a button and listen to somebody. And I'm not talking about me, but it's like they get pissed off that, I can't just go on the internet, click on a button, listen to somebody, and see how I can get 30% gain inside of a month or something, right? Anybody except me, I'd say, on the internet, except me. Because I really am doing this for fun, man, more than anything. It's like they're all selling you something. They're either bullion dealers or the brokers, or, if they're in there with charts and all this kind of crap, they got something going. They got a pay for newsletter site. I'm actually the one that's actually doing this. I mean, I got AdSense on here, fine. But, I mean, I'm really I'm not really trying to make... Actually, I'm probably going to make bucks on this, maybe just due to a lot of volume and content and a lot of various things that I put out that other people don't put out, because I don't look at what these other jerks put out. But I was just looking at this article. It was in major media stuff, and it's typical stuff. Except that if you want your wealth to grow, it involves some stock exposure. So, you got to buy stocks now. If you want your wealth to grow, you have to have some exposure in stocks. So, you have some in here and some in... Now, I wouldn't buy stocks. You know what Warren Buffett and Paulson and Soros is doing? Out. You know what Soros is holding? The miners. Actually, I'm going to say a good thing about Eric Sprott, because I was pissed off at him because he didn't give me a phone call and tell me he was selling. It was public information, too. Here I'm listening to Brother John F. Now, that guy's I'm mad at, because he's like, that guy told me so many things for so long that was so far off that I'm like, yo, man. But actually, I think Eric Sprott is going to come out and turn out to be a major, not a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. He's down, I think, from $1 billion to 300-something million. I don't know why this information's public, but the stocks are going to go up probably 10 times. Some of the ones he's got, some are going to be winners and some of them are losers. To give you an example, like what happened, and I'm not talking about these stocks that just went up. I'm talking, the only part of the equities that crashed over 2013 was the miners. That got killed. You're talking about the other equities, the overall S&P and the Dow is up a lot. It's a record year for 16, 18 years. It's the highest it's been. But, and it's also, they're trying to encourage people. He says they have to recognize they're taking a risk. And don't imagine that there's a safe way of gaining exposure to stocks. There isn't. In other words, they're like already telling you, it's like a statement that I already know what's going to happen. It's scary, man. It's the fact that if you get a record like that, the best run-up in 16 to 18 years in equities, and all of it's not in the miners. What does that tell you, man? This is hilarious, because this is like the shit I used to hear from these professional... I don't want to really call them that, because it's like I don't really dislike them, but I know they're so full of shit. Because, when you're a broker, you're looking for customers. And I don't want to say, what I work with or what I know or whatever, because that's a slam on them, because I'm just kind of talking from the hip here. And but it's applicable to all of them. You know, everybody, even people that are brokers on the internet and they comment on the markets, they're looking for business. So, you know, actually, a lot of those guys are freaking flat out wrong, because even though I use them as a barometer for another stock crash, too, or a precious metals crash. But I think the metals are going to do pretty good. Now, I know one of my listeners got double leverage AGQ, and I'm thinking, that might turn out to be good, but man, it's going to be a scary ride. I can tell you that. It's going to be a scary ride. It may turn out to be good, though, because AGQ doesn't erode that fast. But actually, I would recommend for most people, if you're going to go electronic, just go with PSLV or SLV or something like that. And I actually prefer you get the coins, because if there is a crazy, crazy drop in the metals where, fundamentally, it shouldn't go to anything really super low. It may. You never really know. But with coins, it ain't going to go to $10 or some shit. No way in hell. If the spot price of silver went down to half of what it is now, the coins ain't going to be half. No way. I mean, I used to say that about when it was 35 and 40. If it goes down to 25 or 22, you're not going to be able to find coins. There's a difference between saying it then and there's a difference between saying it now. That would be ludicrous. That would be ludicrous. So, you're really, really safe in buying the coins right now. That, I have to tell you, is flat out ironclad safety. The actual coins at this price. Not so much. Even electronic markets, though, they're probably pretty good. But boy, this is the typical spiel. But the only thing you can actually say that cash is something that's going to erode on you. Not that you want to spend all your last, because I know when silver was going up and it was over 40, it's like, what are you going to do? Hold fiat? People argue with me left and right, I said, yeah, holds fiat too. They're arguing with me left and right. And now it's like, the same people, they don't even want to touch coins. It's funny. Oh, God, it's funny as all hell. It is. But, actually, the average person, say, when you're just going paycheck to paycheck or whatever the hell it is, and, I watch real careful, like, what, I got money coming in from this and that, whatever. I actually don't ever want to go down on money, and I'm very good at that part, But cash, a lot of people don't hold cash because they realize if they spend now, it's like it'll probably cost them more in the future. That's why nobody saves. And see, that's the problem with, when you save anything. See, with silver, say you bought it even at $40. But the thing is, if you bought silver coins at $40 and say, you're probably just going to stash them away. I remember I bought gold back in the 90s. And it's like, I bought it and it went down years later. But it's way the hell up now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm probably going to always be a certain core holder in precious metals. But, that's the deal. That's the deal. So, you tend not to spend the coins. Now, if you get heavily invested in the coins, you are going to dump them off at a later time in pieces. I would just do it in small amounts. I mean, if the gains get ridiculous, where if you're buying coins now for $20 and you're thinking, this is, I don't know if it's going to go down or up or whatever. If it turns out that it's double later, whatever you bought now that you didn't even think you'd ever buy, that you got enough of, you could sell that part for double, right? What the hell? What the hell? And what I'm telling you right now is not that crazy, because the equities, you look at precious metals can move higher percentages up and down than equities easily. But, at the same token, say silver did triple value from where it is, like the S&P did triple value from 2009. The silver bloggers will be telling you that it's going to go up another triple, just like these equity jerks are telling you it's going to go up. I'm actually looking at what Warren Buffett's doing too, and Paulson and George Soros. Now Paulson got his ass handed to him supposedly, like last year because he was in gold. But that doesn't mean he's, it's all on paper. It's all on paper till you unload it. So anyway, this is hilarious because I was reading this and I'm like, this is funny because it's the same stuff I used to hear all the time from these people. You know, it's true though. I mean, it's almost like the buy and hold with the equities. If you try to go move in and out, just like if you look back over so many years, it's like there's only been so many weeks out of those so many years, like only a few weeks out of so many years where they had the big rally. But the same thing could even be said more of the commodities too. As much as silver crashed in the past, it could rally that fast too. I mean, it could rally up to 26 and maybe go down to 23 before it goes up past that again. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So I just keep recommending buying the coins. And, what the pumpers are right now is the equities pumpers. It's funny. It is funny. And, I'm not a broker, man. I'm not like reading you some. I'm not a broker. I'm not even trying to, am I trying to get clients here or nothing? No. I'm just giving you a commentary on YouTube. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Flat out. Flat out. So, some people are major critics of me. A very, very few. But it's like, hey, I enjoy doing this, so it's fun. And actually, why was I so much immersed in the accounting and finance field? Because I enjoyed it. You got to actually like it. You got to actually like it. I like the game. And I find this game, some of the stuff they're putting out in major media, it's funny. Oh, God, it's funny as all hell. Because it's the same crap I only heard. I heard over and over and over again. When they're trying to get you to bite at the highs. It's like the same kind of garbage that the precious metals clowns were giving you back when silver was going to go, it's going to go through 50, it's going to go to 100. It's the same kind of crap. It's analogous to that. It's the same kind of garbage. So when you're in the coins are the safest deal. I'm going to tell you back a couple years ago or whatever it was, I bought leverage and I like made more than double my money, and I had to sweat it out. I actually had AGQ. I had to sweat it out and I didn't know this for a fact, but it was like, it was months before it started rocketing up, and I actually didn't catch the top, but I made way more than double. So, I'm going to personally recommend, though, where I think you're rock solid safe is in the coins. I think you're rock solid safe. Because even if, it doesn't appear that the metals are going to drop, but say they did, from this price, oh my God. That old cliche that the coins aren't going to be available? They're not going to be available, man. If they try to drop the spot price from here, I don't think they are. I think the metals aren't going to do that much. They're going to do a lot of this little bouncing around at $20, 20 something, getting to low 20s, that kind of garbage. There's going to be a lot of that going on before it really takes off. And just like the stocks in what do you call those damn things again? The rare earth metals. When they were doing nothing, and they were just kind of bouncing around and bouncing up. And on average, in 1 month, I think it was September 2010, they increased sevenfold. 7 times. So that's where Eric Sprott can actually make up a hell of a lot of money. Because if he's got 80% invested in precious metals, I don't know what the hell he's got. I mean, you say he's got 30% invested in the miners, and they're down to like 30% of their value. Well, they could easily go up 7 times from there, which would actually make them like around more than double of what he paid for them originally. That guy's going to make out. Actually, now I'm realizing, since they kind of slammed him with Sprott management, not allowing him to be involved and all that. Actually, I'm realizing he is a maverick. You know what? It's usually when all these idiots kind of like push you off to the side, and he's still sticking with his stuff. He ain't going to sell now. He's going to win out. Sprott's going to win out. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. He's going to win out. It's going to be funny later on. I don't know. I think later on I'm not going to say much, but it depends, If this, I would like it, if the channel got real popular, but if, I don't want to say too much because if I get too popular on this damn thing, I will influence the markets. But I ain't gonna influence the markets with, maybe I'm getting more views now, but I'm not gonna influence the markets, by telling people when it's getting too high. I don't. Maybe I will stay on here. I don't know because if 1,000 people know it's getting too high, it's gonna affect nothing really. So I don't know how high could be. Actually, when I sold AGQ back I sold it around $30 when silver went from I got it at 17 and it did double leverage and I sold it at 30. It went up over 40. I could have had some really freaking double gains again. I didn't know that. It's almost like the Bitcoin deal. I was saying Bitcoin's is getting dangerous now, this stupid thing. And I was saying that when it was 200 something, and it went up way over 1,000. And I didn't really know if it was. I said it could go higher, but I said I don't know how high a bubble is. It's getting into bubble territory, and it turns out I think I'm right, even though it's kind of early to say that. But I'm just applying common sense, and it's so funny. Oh man, they're pushing. The major media is pumping the equities. Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious, man. It's like the same shit I used to say. Because how do these brokers make? What do you think freaking pays for the freaking sign above the door, the electricity, this guy's suit, all his perks, his all this shit? What do you think is paying for the broker? You investing in them, right? You investing in them, right? And they want you to invest equities, right? And really, what do the biggest guys do? They get the suckers in there too. Because why does some? It is a casino. The game, it is a casino. But I'm telling you right now, when you're doing this precious metal stuff, it's smart. Because you're kind of like opting out of the casino in a lot of ways. Some people say you're not, but in a lot of ways you are. Because these people that are saying, they're looking at the dollars all the way. All the way. All the way. And I wouldn't trust them in a million years to back me up, man, because they got no backbone whatsoever. None. Zero backbone. Zero. So, I mean, when you're doing this stuff, it's almost like you're opting out of the freaking stuff. The basic principles are sound. You want to stay with the precious metals for basically opting out of the system and actually screwing up the casino. You're not playing the game. That's really what's going on. But when you buy precious metals, you buy them with the idea that you don't put all your cash into it. Right? Like I said, I haven't really sold any physical, I will be if it really gets up there. If it starts getting way the hell over 50, some of it's going. That's when I'm going to start dumping some. But, I elaborated on other videos, you don't just hold cash. You go to another capital asset. Just like any business. Any business does not just hold cash. None. Okay? All right, over now. Yeah, and a little Rocky Caesar says, hi. You can see he's getting relaxed, he's hanging down here, He likes hanging up on his computer under the shelf. Anyway, you got to be like a cat when you invest, chill out a little bit,